I want to talk about my self-esteem a little bit, and I want to talk about why I do my videos with little to no makeup and why I look a mess in half of them. I am actively choosing to do this. I have really, really poor self-esteem issues, and someone told me once that I was a sucker for punishment, and I could not agree more when it comes to this type of thing. I am a toss-up between having enough confidence to think that I'm beautiful, but also enough self-esteem issues to arguably say that I have a lot of problems and insecurity issues. And the majority of that comes from weight issues more than anything else, and age issues is starting to creep up there too, and I'm only 30. So I think that's really saying something in terms of, because I associate a lot of that with social media more than TV, because I actually find TV's going in a comfortable direction with showing women as they are, more so than technology seems to be going in the very quick opposite of young and flawless skin issues is a big one. But for me, I've gone through so much, and so much of it is nothing compared to some people I know. And I think with the amount of confident issues that I have, and I would say everybody has their own issues in terms of their own confidence in their own body and their own self-esteem and worth. But I've always felt like mine were just that much stronger, just that much worse. And the only difference that I can really associate is the fact that I was obese as a child, and everybody else around me wasn't, or at least nothing in comparison. And I still, to this day, I feel if I could say I was more tired over anything else, it would be tiredness about having to worry about my weight. And I still feel like I have years to go. It's something I more have to come to terms with than fight for all the time. But I'm not willing. It's not even up for discussion. Like, we're not there yet. Like, I'm just not willing to give it up. I'm not willing to stop fighting for my body at any point. I just can't. I genuinely can't even comprehend what that would look like or feel like. Because it's just like, we're like here's where that would happen, and like here's the total opposite end where I am like 90% of the time. And like this whole process is brought down to like there. Like we're not even on the same scale yet. So it's just not, and that's just it. These are these are issues that, I mean, going through everything that I'm going through, feeling depressed and feeling anxious and realizing that I have these episodes that I didn't even know were episodes I haven't officially clinically been diagnosed with these things, but they get brought up, and it's just like, I know that's what it is, but you really, nobody really understands or knows how it happens, where it comes from, the full dimension of all of it. Nobody. So it's so hard to come to terms with it in your own self when you realize there is nobody else with the answers that you're looking for. And it's almost like growing up in technology. It's like there is always an answer to everything. It's emotional for me, but there's always an answer for everything, or so it seems. So when I'm going through these personal issues, and it's a self-discovery. I'm really, really learning so much about myself, and just going, like, this is very deep for me, in comparison to everything else that I've sort of been through. And coming to those realizations, it's more I'm at a stage now where I am just going to decide for myself how I'm going to handle this, because there's nobody that can give me a clear path out yet, is the best way to describe it. There's ways of coping with it, ways of dealing with it, ways of managing it, ways of living with it, but there's no real way out of it. It would be, someone actually described to me yesterday it as being a terminal mental illness. It would be like the mental version of a terminal physical illness. And it's almost like, so that's as deep as it goes, right? Like, so that's as deep as the brain goes? Like, that's it? And I mean, it's bad. But, I mean, I suppose I wouldn't wish it to get any worse. So, it is what it is. But, I am grateful, so grateful for the amount of support that I've gotten in terms of it, because considering how new it is, the amount of people who have put in such a strong effort to help me, I could not be more proud of my country right now. I couldn't be more proud of my hospital situation. Just the overwhelming support is not only impressive, but greatly appreciated. And it took me a while to sort of, as a kid, you really don't take in the true full value of your government or your healthcare system or anything like that. You really, because you don't use it. Like, some might in certain situations, but for the most part, the average everyday person might just not use it that often. But when you need it, and it's there for you, and it's there for you in the magnitude that it was there for me, then you start to realize really how really incredible our system is. And that's why you should vote. You should definitely do that. You should vote. It's one of the few things that we ultimately have a unanimous say together on. It's the one thing where we all come together and do something and make a decision as a whole group of people. And I think that is the one, like, massive, it doesn't matter who you are, all you need is a name, and you are eligible to have a say in this. It is the one thing that unites all of us so much, just on a human level. So you should definitely get out there and vote. But yeah, I'm just, our whole system, I'm just really impressed. And I never cared or thought much about it one way or another. And I always was the kind of person that would complain about taxes, or, have like a finger waving if I didn't like something. But I never really because I never got to experience it or have kind of a connection with it on some level, I was never able to fully appreciate how much we really do have. And I am just so thankful to be, on this side of the world, or in the position that I'm in the country that I'm in. And I finally feel the gratitude, I think, that so many people feel when something moves them, when something on the planet moves them or impacts them in some way, emotionally or mentally. I'm finally understanding what that feels like. And it didn't resonate with me with, people. Like I see people without a place to live or without food, and I empathize and I sympathize, but I was never able to fully get on that level. And I feel like now I've finally, it clicked. It took so much, but finally there was something that sort of happened to me or impacted me deep enough that, like, I get it. Finally, and when that happens, I almost feel like that is a true eye-opener to adulthood. I mean, I don't know how else to really, it might be something different. It might be something a little bit more, maybe more on a human level, but it really, really woke me up a little bit to adulthood, and snapped me out of the everything's fairy tales and roses. But I still think it's so important to have that, and I see the importance of keeping that childlike influence on you, just for your heart and soul, just to keep you happy. It's like a happiness thing. But there is a part that really is so world changing. It's so, just makes waves in your mind. And I feel like it's almost like this is a once in a lifetime experience. And not just to be alive, but just to have these realizations. It's just so, you're like, I can breathe. Like I found my purpose. I realize why I'm here. And it's not that I'm not here to monitor my output to society. I'm not here to, my worth is not determined by my output. And I looked at, you can look at programs like that on the computer, but I looked at myself that way. And it's taken talking to people, it's taken doing YouTube videos, it's taken so much to really just wake me up to all of that and realize those things. And I'm just really grateful that it's happened for me, and that I've gotten to experience this and go through this journey, and I'm still going through this journey. And my mom said to me, she said, you are not given a piece of paper or a power soul. You are not given anything when you come into this world that says your life is going to be good or bad. There is absolutely nothing that says one way or another. You are not promised anything. You are not given anything. You just are born. And it's been like that for thousands of years. And it's true, other than a name, you're not really. So it's kind of like it's finally deciding for myself what type of life I want to have. And I'm still figuring it out. But I'm getting better. And one day at a time, I'm figuring more and more out. And I do realize the amount of change that is coming into my life. It is a big change for me. And I am extra habitual when it comes to life. I follow habit pretty closely. So I feel more comfortable that way, I guess. I know things are about getting out of your comfort zone, but I'm just not right there yet. Like right now. It's gonna take still a little bit more time. But I'm getting there. And I like surprises, so you never know. I'm hoping something magical and big is going to happen for me, and my life's going to change for the better, and it's going to break me out of my normal routine that I've had for so long. But I just don't know what that is yet. But I'm here, and I'm waiting, and I'll continue to wait, and I'll continue to do until then, and then I have high hopes, and I have a lot of faith, and a lot of wishes, and a lot of wisdom. So, fingers crossed. But that was my, a little bit of a video on self-esteem, because I was just watching a video on YouTube here on self-compassion, and they were talking about self-esteem and the feeling of self-worth. And I have a lot to say about that, considering I am someone who seems to simultaneously love herself and hate herself all at the same time, which I think is more common than we talk about. So, but that's my little rant. Bye.